full. So let's begin. Okay. So coming on to your mats. Take your block if you like to sit on a block. So we're going to start in a position called Sukhasana, which is a cross-legged seated position, a comfortable seat. So taking the feet a little bit away from the groin, so the shins are kind of parallel. Start by stacking the spine nice and tall, and feel as though the crown of the head, the center of the crown of the head, is stacking over the center of the pelvis. Bring the chin in towards the chest, and then closing the eyes. Just becoming aware of your space, your mat, and the start of your practice. Bringing your hands onto your knees with the palms facing up, and then bringing together the pointer finger and the thumb. Starting to take the focus and attention inwards. So closing the eyes allows us to draw our attention within. So feeling a little bit more introspective and taking our consciousness inside. So noticing how you feel in your body, how you feel at this moment. So just scan through the body and take your breath to any place of tension. So beginning to breathe in and out through the nose, using the nose as a filter, and then warming the breath in the back of the throat. We call this Ujjayi breath. So it's a similar sound to as you fog up the mirror going, but with the lips closed. So swirling the breath in the back of the throat, just warming and energizing your breath. Just observe the flow of the breath in and out. Noticing the change in the body as you breathe in. Notice the chest and rib cage widen and expand. And as you exhale, notice how the body softens. So beginning to slow down the breath, making the inhale and the exhale longer. Nice and even and steady. And seeing if we can keep the mind quiet. So if any thoughts try to nudge their way into our consciousness, just observe you have that thought and maybe just let it float away. And come back to focusing on the real simple sensations of the breath. So just noticing that nice, steady, continuous breath in and out. And then focusing on something called our bandhas, our energy locks. So beginning to take attention to your pelvic floor. So beginning to squeeze and lift into your pelvic floor, called your mula bandha, your perineum. Beginning to engage there. And then on your next exhale, Uddiyana Bandha, navel to spine. So begin to draw the navel in towards the spine. So engaging the abdominal muscles. So keeping these two bandhas, these two energy locks, the base of your core, your abdominal core, really switched on for as much of the class as possible. I will remind you as we go through the class to engage Mula Bandha or Uddiyana Bandha. So Mula Bandha is that root, the base of your perineum, your pelvic floor, that's Mula. And then you have your Uddiyana Bandha, navel to spine, abdominal lock. So we have our Ujjayi breath, which is that whispering, victorious, oceanic sounding breath in the back of the throat. And we have our bandhas. And last, before we begin to move and synchronize our movements with our breath, let's take this opportunity of stillness to set ourselves a positive intention. So a positive intention or a resolve, something that resonates deeply with you. Bring that to this present moment, into this present tense. So it's something that goes like, I am, and then fill in your intention. That can be healthy, grateful, happy, content, peaceful. So fill in your intention, I am, and then your peace at the end. And then repeat that silently to yourself, to your inner mind's eye 3 times. So slowly opening up the eyes and releasing the hands from the knees. Let's take a nice deep breath in and taking a twist over to the right. So you're hooking your left hand across your right knee and taking your right hand behind you onto your fingertips. So sitting tall, growing through nice and tall through the spine to the crown of the head. You're looking over your far right shoulder. So here we keep drawing navel to spine and keep the breath flowing and even. Take a nice deep breath into center, then twisting over to the other side. So now we're hooking our right hand across to the left outer knee, and we're on the fingertips behind us with the left hand and looking to the far left over our left shoulder. So our gaze is our drishti, our focus for our eyes. Now this helps us with our concentration and will also help us with our balancing later. So coming off your block, if you've been on your block, coming onto all fours. So Bidalasana, cat-cow. So carefully placing your hips, stacking your hips over your knees and taking your hands so that they are beneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide and point your hands so that the middle finger is facing the top of your mat. So engage Mula Bandha, pelvic floor, navel to spine. So Uddiyana Bandha and Mula Bandha both switched on. Press the tops of your feet actively into the mat and your hands too. Taking a nice deep breath in, begin to lift the chest, the gaze, and the tailbone up to the sky, sending your belly down to the earth. Exhale as you tuck the tailbone under, tuck the head, drop the head down, chin towards the chest. Big breath in, into your cow. Exhale, flowing into cat. Inhale. Exhale. So every movement has the flow of the breath. So inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. As you go into cat, really push into the hands, into the feet. Squeeze and lift. One more of each. So inhale. Really send that tailbone up. Open the chest. Look up. Then exhale. Really squeeze and lift. Arch the back up to the sky. Drop chin to chest. Then inhale, coming to center. Tucking your toes. We're going to hover the knees just an inch off the mat. So really squeeze and lift into the core. Squeeze into the glutes and thighs. Push and drive into the hands. So really dome that space between the shoulder blades. Then taking a nice deep breath in. Then exhale, push into the hands and start sending the buttocks towards the heels, coming into a low crouch position. Then starting to extend the legs, lifting the tailbone up towards the sky, coming into your first downward facing dog. So here we pedal out the legs, so really walking out your dog. So feel that lovely stretch down the backs of the legs into the calves, the Achilles heels, the backs of the knees. Allow the head to drop and hang heavy between the arms. Soften into the elbows. Keep Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha active, so keep those pelvic floor and abdominal muscles active. Maybe wagging your tail now from side to side, so keeping the arms and the upper body fairly static, with spinning on the feet from side to side. Feel a lovely stretch down the side body. Then coming up onto tippy toes, and really come up to the very tips of the toes and lower down. Do that a couple of times. Just really waking up the feet. And then pressing the feet firmly into the earth, walk the hands a little bit closer to the feet. So we've got a much shorter stance or space between the hands and the feet. Take a nice deep breath in. Send your left hand to the outer edge of your right foot. Take a lovely stretch. If it's available to you, look up towards your right armpit. Keep breathing in and out, nice and steady and even. Big breath into center. Then exhale, right hand across to the left outer foot. Looking under your left armpit. Big breath in. Taking the hands forward until you come back to that downward facing dog. Slowly taking really small steps, walk your feet up to join the hands. Keep the feet hip distance apart, and then grabbing hold of opposite elbows, hanging in ragdoll. So here we sway from side to side, and really let the head hang heavy. So using gravity here in our favor, just releasing the tension in the neck, in the shoulders. So nod that head yes, shake the head no, making lovely circles maybe with the nose, really releasing tension in the neck. So make those sways from side to side as big or as small as feels good for you today. Maybe you want to really bend a little bit more into the knees and allow the belly to land onto the thighs. And then touching the feet with the hands, just going to stretch out the backs of the legs just for a moment, and then bending into the knees, start to curl yourselves up to standing nice and slowly, vertebra by vertebra, and coming up to stand in mountain pose, Tadasana. So we're coming up to the top of our mat, bringing your feet together. So the feet can touch, the big toes can touch, or they can be closer to hip distance apart. But whichever you choose, that's your choice. But lift all 10 toes off the mat and then replace them down, spreading the toes wide. Lift the inner arches of the feet, squeeze into the glutes and into the thighs. And then checking in on that pelvis. Is it tucking anteriorly or posteriorly? Just maybe check that you have a neutral pelvis. Maybe you need a little anterior tilt to take the extra curvature out of the spine. Then rolling the shoulders back and down, grow yourself tall through the feet to the crown of the head. This is mountain pose Tadasana. We're taking 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar A and 3 rounds of classical Namaskar. So we'll take the classical one first. So starting in Samasthiti, hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in, reaching up into Urdhva Hastasana. Look up to your thumbs. Exhale, hands go through center, soften and fold down into Uttanasana, forward fold. Take a breath in as you come halfway lift. So fingertips or hands on shins. Place your hands onto the mat and step that right foot back. We're coming into a low lunge. Untuck the back toes. Take a nice deep breath in, reaching up with the arms. Look up to your thumbs. Anjanasana. Placing the hands down onto the floor, tuck the back toes, stepping into plank. So left foot steps back, you're now in your plank position. Dropping the knees and tuck the toes. Exhale, lower yourself with control to the mat. Taking a breath in, coming into Bidhalasana, tabletop position, then tuck the toes and come into Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Hold it here for 2 breaths. Allow that head to drop heavy between the arms and the heels to send themselves towards the mat, but they don't have to touch. Taking a nice big breath in, stepping your right foot forwards. Drop that left knee. Big breath in as you come into Anjanasana on the other side. Look up to the thumbs as you reach up to the sky. Planting the hands, framing the front foot, tuck the back toes, and then stepping the left foot to join the right into Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold deeply over the legs into Uttanasana. Inhale, bringing the hands up through center in prayer into that Urdhva Hastasana. Look up to your hands, look up to the thumbs, and then back to Samastitihi, hands to center, and then back to your mountain pose. That's 1 round. We're doing 2 more of those. Inhale into Urdhva Hastasana. Look up to thumbs. Exhale, forward fold deeply over the legs. Plant the hands. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Then stepping back with that right foot, drop the back knee to untuck the back toes. Take a breath in into your really low lunge. Look up to thumbs. Exhale, plant the hands, frame the front foot, step your front foot back into plank. Drop the knees and then curl yourself down onto the mat with control, exhaling. Inhale and exhale, coming into downward facing dog. Just take 2 breaths here. On your next breath in, stepping the right foot forwards. Untuck the back toes. Coming into that low lunge on the other side. Big breath in, look up to thumbs. Exhale, plant the hands onto the mat. Tuck the back toes and then step it forwards into your halfway lift. So flat back, fingers onto the floor or onto your shins. Then exhale, fold deeper and plant the hands to the mat. Uttanasana. Inhale, hands through center, reaching all the way up to the sky, looking up to your thumbs, then hands through center, back to Samastitihi, and then mountain pose. 1 more round. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, deeply forward fold into Uttanasana. Plant the hands, drop the head. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back, fingertips or hands on shins. Plant the hands firmly now. Step that right leg back. Drop the back knee and tuck the back toes. Inhale into Anjanasana. Look up to your thumbs. Frame the front foot with your hands. Tuck the back toes, step into plank. Drop the knees and exhale as you lower yourself down. Knees, chest, chin. Take a breath in, coming it up into a little mini cobra. Exhale into Bidhalasana through to Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Taking 1 deep breath in and out. Stepping your right foot forwards, dropping that back knee. Anjanasana on the other side. Look up to your thumbs. Then framing the front foot, tuck the back toes, and exhale, coming through to your halfway lift. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, hands through center, all the way up to the top, Urdhva Hastasana. Then exhale, hands through center once more, just to Tadasana, mountain pose. Now we're going to take our Surya Namaskar A, which is slightly different. So that was the warm-up vinyasa sequence. So now we're taking a slightly different one. So follow me. Taking a deep breath in, sweeping the arms wide this time. Look up to your hand, little micro back bend. Exhale, hands through center, into your forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands, hold the breath as you step or jump into your plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana or knees, chest, chin, your choice. Inhale for a mini cobra or a full upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, driving into the hands, pulling navel to spine as you come back into your downward facing dog. Hold it here for a couple of breaths. So checking in that you're allowing your head to hang heavy between the arms. Your drishti is towards your navel and you take your chin towards your chest. Draw the navel in towards the spine, so you're making sure that you're engaging your abdominal muscles. On your next breath in, bending the knees, look to the top of the mat. Exhale to step or jump lightly to the top. Taking a breath in for a halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold deeply, Uttanasana. Inhale, sweeping the arms wide, lifting the hands up to the sky, Ardha Hastasana. Little micro back bend, so the hips go forward and the arms go back. Hands through center, back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms wide, look up to the thumbs, Ardha Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, drop the head towards the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands, step or jump back into your plank, choosing to take your Chaturanga Dandasana, or a knees, chest, chin, or a mini cobra as you take your upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, exhale. So imagine somebody's pulling you from the tailbone back. Draw your navel towards your spine and take 2 breaths here. On your next breath, a little bend in the knees, look to the top of the mat. You can step or jump lightly to the top, exhaling. Breath in, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms go wide as you look up to your thumbs into your Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands through center, back to Tadasana. One more round. Inhale, arms wide, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, drop the head. Inhale, halfway lift. Hold the breath as you plant the hands firmly and step back into your plank. Chaturanga Dandasana, exhale on knees, chest, chin. Inhale, upward facing dog, or sticking with your mini cobra, your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking 2 breaths here. On your next breath in, bend in the knees, look to the top of the mat. Step or jump lightly up to the top on your exhale. Breathing in for halfway lift, flat back, gaze forwards. Forward fold, exhale into Uttanasana. Inhale, sweeping the arms wide, look up to your thumbs. Last time, little micro back bend, so hands go back a little bit, hips go forwards. Then hands through center, back to your mountain pose. Well done. So that's 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar B. So moving into our standing postures. Taking a big step back with your left foot. So we have our right foot forward, left foot back, and imagine your front heel is lining up with the back inner arch of that left foot. We're going to take a deep breath in, reaching up to the sky. Then exhale, bending into that right leg. Your arms are parallel to the earth. Your fingertips are reaching as far apart as they can. And I want you to check in on your front foot. Can you see your big toe on your right foot? That's good if you can. You don't want your front knee to oversail that front ankle. So we're sinking down into the hips with every exhale. Just sink a little bit lower. Soften the face, neck, and jaw. And you send your gaze, your drishti, to your front middle finger. Just hold it here for another 2 breaths. Then bringing your right forearm to your right thigh. Windmill that left left hand overhead, reaching away into a Theta Parsvakonasana, extended side angle. So imagine you have something precious in that right hand. So the chest is opening to the side and you're lifting your gaze, your drishti up to your top hand without really cranking the neck too much. Just lift with the eyes. So squeeze into those hips and thighs, keeping yourself nice and stable. From here, coming into Utthita Trikonasana, so straightening that front leg. So we're opening the arms, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So once again, the chest opens to the side. Imagine you're placed between two panes of glass and your drishti is up to your top hand. Now don't dump down into that right hand. Bring your right hand to your heart center. Hold it here, nice and steady and even with the breath. Big breath in, and then reaching back with that left hand coming into your warrior two. Look to your front hand, and then bring yourself to step your feet together with control at the top of your mat. Now I'm going to turn around for you and face the other way, because you're going to step your other foot back. So you're going to take your right foot back. So we're going to line up our feet once more. Front heel lines up with the back inner arch. Really nice wide stance of the feet. There's a kind of a 45-degree angle on my back foot, and my front foot is facing completely to the top of my mat. Take a big breath in, reach up with both hands to the sky. Exhale as you sink and lower into your warrior two, your Virabhadrasana. So reach those fingertips far away from each other as you can. Imagine somebody's pulling on your fingertips, but you're sinking deeply into your hips. Deep breaths in and out. Soften the face, neck and jaw. And look to that front middle finger for your drishti. Just check in with that breath. Nice and steady and even. And then coming to extended side angle, bringing that left forearm to thigh, windmilling the right arm overhead, reaching away as far as you can, fingertips to the outer edge of that right foot. Lifting your gaze up to your top hand, opening the chest to the side. So you have something precious in that left hand, don't forget. Just being conscious of all parts of the body. Taking a nice big breath in. Going to straighten our left leg. And then we're coming into Trikonasana. So the arms are 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So we're really keeping ourselves between those two planes of glass. So squeeze the thighs towards each other and squeeze. It's almost like you're trying to squeeze the hips together. Push into the big mounds of the big toes. Help with stability and balance. So you're looking up to your top hand. Don't dump into that right hand, that left hand down to the floor, which is a really easy thing to do, to sort of place it down. Rather come up a little bit and then bring your left hand to your heart center. This really works the stabilizing muscles on the side of the body. So look up to your top hand. Check in with that breath, nice and steady and even. Big breath in, coming back into that warrior two. Look to the top of your mat and step your feet together with control. Now coming into our first little balance. So eagle pose. We have two options here. So first of all, find a spot on the floor for your drishti. So you're going to have a spot for your gaze to help with your balance. Right leg is your standing leg. So imagine that leg is super strong and your right foot is firmly rooted and grounded into the earth. We're going to take our left foot across our right thigh, flex the left foot, and then bring your hands to your heart center. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, sink into sort of like chairs. Imagine you have a chair behind you. So this is the prep for eagle pose. Hold it here for just 2 more breaths. So keep your focus on that drishti point in front of you. So keeping the chest lifted. Then nice big breath in, slowly straightening your standing leg and come out. Release that left leg, give your legs a shake, and then over to the left side. So left foot, standing leg. So firming up the standing leg, root all those parts of that standing foot into the earth. Taking the right foot across the left thigh, flex that right foot, hands to heart center. So the knee is coming, my right knee is coming out to the side, and I'm sinking down on my exhale. Now you might notice a difference between your left side and right side. That's why these standing balances really help us to work with both sides of the body and address any imbalances. 2 more breaths in and out. Big breath in, slowly straightening your standing leg, and then give your legs a little shake. So we can have a little go at tree pose. So standing leg, right leg. You have a few choices. Your left foot can be touching the earth with a big toe. That's completely okay. So there's no competition, there's no ego. So just go to where it feels comfortable for you. So don't place the foot though on the knee. It must be above or below. So the left foot is coming either to the calf, the ground, or into the inner thigh. So opening the left knee out, bring your hands to your heart center to start. Keep that drishti point for your gaze. Check in with the breath. Lift and squeeze into Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor, and into your core strength there. So stabilize your trunk. Maybe now lifting up your branches. Grow your branches tall. Palms of the hands together. Push into the big toe of the standing foot. Feel the strength in the trunk of your tree. Big breath in. Slowly lowering your hands back to your heart center. And then releasing your left foot back down to the floor. Nice and slowly. Give your legs a little shake out. So standing leg, left side. So once again, check you're rooting all parts of that standing foot into the ground. That's called Pada Bandha. So there's a connection there with the ground, with the earth. So bringing your right foot toe to touch earth, calf or above the knee. Remember, never on the knee. So don't place any pressure on the knee joint. So really feel that lightness and lift in your core. Bring your hands to your heart center, keeping your gaze, your drishti on that spot on the floor, just to help you focus on your balance. Growing your branches tall, super tall to the sky. And maybe this time, opening the arms into cactus. So opening the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together, spread the fingers wide. 3 more breaths. Nice and steady and even. Then inhale, reaching up, bring the hands back together, and then down through center, back to heart. Slowly, with control, releasing the right foot back down to the ground. Now from here, take a nice big step out so that your feet are parallel. So if you are facing me, you're probably not on your mat the same direction as me. So the orientation with classes online is a little bit different. But take a nice big wide step out and have your feet parallel, the outer edges of your feet parallel. Then take your hands to your hips. Take a nice deep breath in. So we're opening the chest, looking up. So imagine your spine lift and lengthening. And then tilting from the hip creases, I'd like you to reach yourself forwards, 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 until your hands can come down to the ground. So preferably bringing the hands fairly close together. Draw the elbows together. And then bring your weight slightly into your toes, drawing your crown of the head down towards the mat. So feel that length in the backs of the legs. Working with the breath and also working with the bandha. So lift into the pelvic floor and lift the navel to spine and feel as almost you being lifted up with that. With every exhale, really release the muscles in the backs of the legs. But also you can squeeze and activate the quads. So they work in pairs. So if you squeeze into the quad, you can actually lengthen the hamstrings a little bit more. Maybe the crown of the head will come closer down towards the earth. Let's hold it here for another 2 breaths. Keep bringing those elbows towards each other. On your next breath in, taking yourself up halfway, so flat back position. And then taking your left hand to the outside of your right foot. And then reaching your right hand up to the sky. So we're taking a twist, look up to your top hand. So really squeeze and lift into the core. So draw that navel into spine. 2 more breaths. In and out. And then slowly bringing the right hand across to the left. So switching sides. Lifting the left hand up to the sky. So taking your twist here. So lifting your gaze up to your top hand. Slowly bringing your left hand down to center, right hand down to center. And then bending and into the knees a little bit, heel toe the feet a little bit closer together, and then bend into the knees, just soften into the knees. Bring the hands to your hips, and then take a nice breath in. Slowly come up to standing. Look to the top of your mat, or stand to the top of the mat. Then taking a big step back, not too big, with your left foot. And this time have your feet so that they are, I'm going to face you this time, that they are hip distance apart, not lined up centrally. So your left foot is at a 45-degree angle and your right foot is facing forward. Now, choices of arms here, we clasp opposite elbows. So you either clasp opposite elbows or you bring your hands together in a reverse prayer. So only take the reverse prayer if that feels comfortable for you. So that's one of those things that you either find accessible or not. So bring your hands, reverse prayer or clasping opposite elbows. So right foot forwards, left foot back. Now pointing the hips forward, so checking that your hips are facing forward. You're not starting to turn the hips to the side. I want you to really check those hips face forwards. We're going to take a big breath in, lift the gaze, send the chest pointing up towards the sky. Lift and lengthen as you start to fold forwards, hinging from those hip creases over that right leg. So feel as though your belly will land on that right thigh first. Your drishti, your gaze, is to your right big toe. Now squeeze the thighs as though they're squeezing towards each other. Squeeze the hips towards each other. The left hip forwards, the right hip back. Squeeze and lift into the belly, so navel to spine. So with every exhale, imagine you're folding further and further over that right leg. Let's hold it here for another 2 long breaths, in and out. On your next breath in, I'd like you to push into that right foot and with control, come all the way up, upright. And then keeping your hands as they are, step your left foot forwards and your right foot back. So now your left foot is facing the top of your mat and your right foot is at a 45-degree angle. Sending your hips to face the top. So you're going to really redirect the hips forwards. Lift and lengthen the spine once more. Inhale. Exhale as you hinge from your hip creases, folding over your left leg. Now we really want to squeeze into those glutes. Squeeze the thighs towards each other, really activate them. Drive that right hip forward a little bit and the left hip back and the right hip forward. Squeeze and lift into the belly. Drishti to the big toe on the left side. Feel that lovely length in the back of the neck. So don't scrunch the shoulder. Keep the shoulders far away from the ears. Let's take another 2 deep breaths in and out. Releasing a little bit more with every exhale over that front leg. On your next breath in, pushing into that front foot, squeezing into that left thigh, lifting all the way back up to standing with control. And then very carefully releasing the bind of the hands. Give your arms and shoulders a little shake. Come to stand at the top of your mat. We're going to take 1 round of Surya Namaskar A. My pretty picture's just left me, so I'm going to bring it back. It only lasts for a certain amount of time. Come on, picture. So come to stand at the top of your mat. Oh, it's gone. So come to stand at the top of your mat. Big toes together, heels apart. So there's like a little V shape there. Space between the ankles. So standing in mountain pose. So standing really tall. Standing tall. So feel the feet rooted into the earth. Taking a deep breath in, reaching up, looking up to your thumbs. Exhale deeply forward, folding, hinging from the hip creases. Plant the hands to the mat. Exhale. Big breath in, coming to halfway lift. So flat back, gaze forwards, fingertips or hands on shins. Plant the hands. Let's just step the feet back. Then drop the knees and come into Balasana, child's pose. So dropping the heels down towards the buttocks, towards the heels, and then reaching the hands back, palms facing up, crown of the head down to the floor. Roll the shoulders apart, so feel that space opening between the shoulder blades. Just close the eyes here, just for a few breaths. Just reconnect with your breath and keeping that focus and attention inwards. On your next breath in, coming up to sit onto the heels, and then dropping your bottom to the left or to the right of the heels. Send the feet out front. So now we are in what we call Dandasana. So the feet are extended out front, legs extended. Going to really squeeze into the thighs and really flex the feet towards you. I'd like you to place your hands either side of your buttocks, either side of the hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, open the space in the chest, open that sternum, nice wideness across in the collarbones. Imagine you're placing your back against the wall, so sitting super tall. Close the eyes. And then dropping the chin down towards the chest. And squeeze and lift into your pelvic floor and draw navel to spine. So this is a very energizing pose. So we're squeezing the thighs, the legs are really switched on. We're having to focus on sitting super tall. Imagine somebody's pulling you from a thread from the crown of your head up to the sky. And then from here, taking the legs wide into a straddle pose. So starting really, really slowly with this. So you don't have to really open the legs super, super wide. Just take them to where it's comfortable. And then slowly bringing yourself very gently forwards onto your elbows. And then turn the palms of the hands up. So keeping the spine as straight as you can without rolling and arching forwards with the back. Keep the back nice and straight. So I'm really hinging and tipping from the hip creases. So you can check that by reaching your arms forwards and reaching your hands forwards, 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 and then bringing them down to the earth. So really flex the feet towards you, squeeze into the thighs, and breathe deeply. So I'd like you to really breathe as deeply as you can. With every exhale, feel yourself easing down a little bit further towards the floor. Now, if it's available to you, reaching your hands towards your feet. If you can hook the big toes with the peace fingers, then go for that. If not, hold on to the calves or the ankles or the knees, wherever you can reach. Or if you feel more comfortable having your hands and arms reaching forwards, then go for that. But as long as you are still hinging from your hip creases and starting to bring your body a little bit closer and closer down to the floor. Focus on the breath. And with every exhale, releasing the body down a little bit more down towards the floor. Staying here for a little bit longer. The longer we stay in these really deep stretches, the better. Gives the brain a chance to send the signals to the muscles to release. Because if we move into these postures too quickly, the muscle spindles just tense up. So let's stay here for another 5 breaths. Breathing deeply. Concentrate on the exhale, releasing, lowering down just those little fraction by fraction further. Last big breath in and out. And then very slowly, without rushing, bring your body back up, upright. And then assisting your legs, take behind the knees. Ooh, bring those legs together. So extending the legs out front once more. So we're going to come into Paschimottanasana, which is a forward fold. So sitting tall, take a big breath in, reaching up, reach up to the sky, and then tilting from the hip creases. So I'll go slightly to the side so you can see me from side on a little bit. So reaching forwards, forwards, forwards with those hands as if somebody's pulling you from the fingertips. Reach forwards, 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 and then grabbing hold of your ankles, the outsides of your feet, the big toes, whatever you feel like holding on to. But take a breath in now and lift and lengthen. So just coming up a little bit, straighten the spine, and then hinging once more from those hip creases so that my belly is landing first onto the thighs and then the chest. And then it would be the head that comes down last. So we're not trying to round down like a C shape. We're trying to fold and hinge from the hip creases over the legs. So keeping the elbows out to the sides. You can keep your eyes closed, take your drishti to your big toes or to the shins. Whatever works for you, just keep focusing on the steady inhale and exhale. And with that exhale, particularly to lift and to really lengthen and fold further forwards. Let's hold it here for another few breaths. Maybe leave your squeeze into the thighs. Give them a little squeeze and then release, and see if that helps you fold forwards a little bit more. 3 more breaths. Taking hold of the legs just into the thighs, just to help ease you back up nice and slowly. And then I'd like you to roll onto your backs now. Nice and slowly, no rushing. So rolling onto your backs, bringing your knees into your chest. Hug the knees in nice and tight. And then taking a little rock from side to side. Just giving your lower back a little massage. Maybe if it feels good for you, maybe you want to rock forwards and backwards too. And then extending your left leg. Extend the left leg long. Keeping that right knee into the chest. Then switch your left hand to the outside of the right knee. Extend the right arm out to the side, and I'd like you to bring your left knee down towards the floor, just taking a spinal twist. So really breathe in and out nice and slowly and deeply, keeping that right shoulder connected, the right arm completely connected to the floor. You might find the knee doesn't come to touch down to the ground. That's fine. You might want to send your gaze to your right hand. So just look into your right hand. Let's hold it here for another 3 breaths. One more big breath in and out. Then inhale back to center. So switch sides. So extending the right leg. The left knee comes in towards the chest. Taking hold of the outside of that left knee with the right hand. Extend the left hand away, palm facing up. You can look to that left hand if that feels nice. Start to bring that the left knee over to the right. So taking a twist. You may notice one side twists easier than the other. Breathe deeply and evenly. Keep that left shoulder glued to the floor. Let's hold it here another 3 breaths. See if you can ease that knee down just a little bit closer to the floor. Inhale, center. Hug the knees in. Bring the feet down close to the bottom. We're going to take 2 bridges. So heels as close to the buttocks as you can. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to peel the spine off the floor. Keep the thighs parallel. Squeeze the thighs really actively, but keep them parallel. Don't let the knees splay out. Drive those hips up towards the sky, and then clasping the hands underneath. Start to wiggle the shoulders a little, shoulder blades closer together, elbows closer together, pressing the little fingers into the mat. So really squeeze into the glutes and thighs. Deep breaths into the belly. Two more breaths. Lift a little bit higher. Big breath in. Exhale, release the shoulder blades wide. Start to roll down through the spine. We're going to go up one more time. Take a big breath in. Exhale, start to peel the spine off the floor. Wiggle those shoulder blades together. If you want to bring the heels of the hands into the lower back and take a supported bridge, then go for that option. Big breaths into the belly. Keep those thighs parallel, legs parallel. 2 more breaths. Feel the belly rise. Exhale, slowly taking the hands from the low back if you took that option. Then slowly lowering down through the vertebra all the way back down to the floor. Taking one more twist. Let's twist one more time. So knee into chest. Let's start this the other way first. So right leg extends. Let's take the left leg across to the right. So just twisting one more time, looking to your left hand. Inhale, center, hug the knees in. Give yourselves a squeeze. Extend the left leg, hug that right knee in. Left hand across the right knee. Right arm extends. Look to your right hand. And then bringing the left knee down towards the floor. Keep that right shoulder and arm fully connected to the earth. 2 more big breaths in and out. Inhale, center. Hug the knees in. So from here, we're going to extend the legs up to the sky. Lengthen the arms, but press the arms and hands into the earth. Squeeze into the thighs. Squeeze into the belly. So lifting pelvic floor. I know we're upside down a little bit, but hold everything in there just for a few moments. Squeeze a little bit more into the thighs, into the arms. This is the bit before we relax. Hold it here for another 5 breaths. Take a big breath in, bend the knees and drop the feet to the earth. Take the feet hip distance apart, arms out wide, and then window wiper those legs from side to side. And then a couple of choices now, bringing the feet together into supine Baddha Konasana. Bringing your right hand to your belly, your left hand to your heart center. Just take a little gentle sway, rolling over onto the hips, side to side. And then rolling the head from side to side, just gently. And then closing the eyes. So head comes to center. If you don't feel comfortable with your legs like this, then have the feet to the floor and drop the knees towards each other. So just spending a couple of moments here with the eyes closed and allowing yourself to relax. So beginning to allow the breath just to flow in and out. Just take a little scan through the body. Just notice how you feel. Hopefully you feel a little stretched out, a little bit more long in the limbs. So now let the breath go without forcing. Just let it flow naturally. And then just softening the face. So soften the muscles of the face, the brow, the jaw. So unclenching the jaw, so separating the teeth. Feeling the volume of the tongue in the mouth, resting in the palate roof of the mouth. Feeling the eyes rest heavy in their sockets. actively releasing tension in the body, so letting go of any muscles that are still tense. So relaxing the shoulders, the neck, the arms, the hands, the chest, the belly, the upper back, the lower back, the hips and buttocks, the thighs, the knees, calves, ankles, feet. Just being still for a few moments. Just giving yourself these few moments to do absolutely nothing. Just be still. Allow the body to feel heavy. Just imagine you're melting into your mat. All the muscles of the body, the tendons, the ligaments, all soft and relaxed. If you have any tightness anywhere, just send your breath to that space to ease and dissolve away the tension. Just remaining here just for another few moments. Just be still. Nothing to do. Just breathe. Just let the breath flow in and out. Slowly bringing your arms outstretched and your legs outstretched, and making yourself nice and long on your mat, reaching your arms overhead. Give yourselves a lovely stretch. Maybe really reaching the left arm, left hand, left foot. Really stretch, stretch, stretch. Then right arm, right hand, right foot. Stretch, stretch. And then rolling over onto your right side. Very slowly coming up to your cross-legged seated position. So coming back to where we started, keeping the eyes closed or the gaze low. Bringing your hands together, consciously touching the fingertips together, the palms, the hands together. And bringing the hands to your heart center. And honoring your practice today. Lowering your head down towards your fingertips, down towards your heart center. The light in me honors the light in you, with the greatest love, kindness, gratitude, and peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday evening. Hope to see you again. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Well done. Sorry about the glitch at the beginning. Hope to see you again. Have a lovely evening.